think we are live. Yes. Okay, good morning, AO. My name is Heather. I'm one of your mentors, and I've got a couple questions to answer for you guys this morning, so I'm just gonna jump right in. First question comes from Demarius. He asks, when should I hire my CPA as a bookkeeper? Business description and background of question. I operate a phone flipping business, and I am a full-time home inspector. As business grows in both fields, how do I know when it is time to flip the switch and get full-time bookkeeper? If it was me, I would do it right away. There's really no point in trying to recreate the wheel. If your two businesses are focused on flipping phones and the home inspection, do you really want to spend your time being a bookkeeper as well? Spend your time doing what makes you money. So that's what I would do. I would do it right away. And on top of that, there's so many little mistakes that you can make when it comes to financials, so it's best to just let the professionals handle that, in my opinion. Next question comes from Robin. She asks, what are ideas you would have to build relationships with other local businesses in my area? Business description and background of question. I am an independent artist and I sell my art to art enthusiasts and building an online e-commerce store. In order to build my audience locally, I'm looking for ideas you may have to best network and get involved in the local community. Thanks. Well, the first thing you can do is just get out there and meet people. I don't know what kind of area you live in, if it's really artsy or not, but if there's a lot of artists out there, just go and network with them. See if there's some kind of art Facebook group that you can meet up with people. Chamber of Commerce, BBB events, any kind of networking. Just get yourself out there and go meet people. That's what I would do. The more FaceTime you have, the more people know who you are, they know what you do, the better off you are. So I hope that helps. Spend your time on things that make money. Love it. Thanks, Robin. Next question comes from Josh. He asks, how do I know what questions to ask mentors when I don't know what questions to ask? Business description and background of question. Instify is a new e-commerce business in the FBA retail and online arbitrage space. We are new and I just don't know what questions to ask you mentors in order for me to grow my company. I want to learn and want to get guidance, but I am a little stuck knowing what to ask. We are pretty much pre-revenue and just starting with the company. If it helps, I also have a full-time job, so I'm doing this on-off hours with hopes to possibly quit my job someday. I can tell you from experience that every single person has said the same thing. How do I know what to ask if I don't know what to ask? The best thing that you can do, and this is what I did, is just tune into as many lives as possible. Listen to what other people are asking. Come to the events, because what that's going to do is open up doors and get your mind kind of going, like, okay, well, this opened up this door, so what about this? And then you can start asking questions. And don't be afraid to ask questions. There's really no such thing as a dumb question. If you've got that same question, I promise you somebody else has the same thing as well. So just kind of put yourself out there, and you never know what doors are going to be opened. But listen as much as you can, tune in as much as you can, and then see where that takes you. But I have been there, and there are still times where I don't know what questions to ask, so I just listen and see what comes of it. So I hope that helps. Next question comes from Ricardo. Question they asked, how does a company do employee annual reviews? How would a small business approach this to employees when it's never been done? Business description and background. I own and operate a barbershop and want to start doing employee reviews. I want to approach this correctly. Any advice is appreciated. So with employee reviews, I think they are very important. As far as letting your team know, at the next meeting that you have, just let them know, hey, we're going to start implementing reviews. Some companies do them yearly. We do them quarterly. We base them off of core values, KPIs, throw in a few other things. Two other things that we do put in there are an area where the employee or team member has exceeded, and an area where we would like to see them improve. And another thing we do is we have them do reviews on management, because I also need to know how the employees are viewing upper management as well. As far as starting, start now. The sooner you can start, the sooner you have a better grasp on what's going on inside the company. If you've got an issue with an employee and you conduct a review, maybe sit down with them. Instead of just emailing it to them or handing it out to them, just say, hey, this is your review. We're going to set aside a time and go over something. Maybe they don't agree with it. It opens up the door for conversation. Communication improves all the way around. So that is where I would start right away. Hope that helps. Next question comes from Stella. She asks, how do I start working on the yearly financial plan for my e-commerce store? Business description and background of question. I own a personal sportswear brand in Croatia. We have been on the market for 18 months. I'm noticing the lack of cash flow as I always need to buy in advance to sell later. From your experience, what would you suggest to work on to avoid negative cash flow? So two different things here. As far as planning your financials, budgeting, things like that, I would get with your CPA or CFO and do that with them. Kind of goes back to the question that Demarius had. Spend your time doing what makes you money. I refer financials, budgets, projections, all of that to my CFO. That is not my strong point. We have meetings about that and discuss it, but that's not something, that is not a task that I take on just by myself. As far as noticing the lack of cash flow, I think a lot of the other mentors would probably say sales, sales, sales. So that's what I would definitely focus on. But one thing did come to mind. Do you have the opportunity to have affiliates? And that way they can also push your brand and maybe get a little bit of kickback, but they're helping you as well. And then also, are you buying in bulk just to save as much money as possible? So that would be another thing. I hope those help. And if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out. And finally, the last question comes from Randy Hakes. He asks, how can I make hiring an intern from a local college for marketing and social media successful? Business description and background of question. I am not a social media expert, so I would like to hire an intern, junior, senior student who is practicing studies in marketing and social media. I talked to the local college and they told me to sign up with Purple Suitcase to post the job requirements. I would like one to help promote leagues, corporate parties, kids' birthdays, and special events. Would you recommend going this route or hiring someone that has their degree? Would you recommend the amount of hours a week to start? Also, should I offer commissions? Your thoughts? Thank you. So when it comes to hiring anybody, whether they are paid or an intern, think about the amount of time that you are investing in this person. If you're hiring an intern, would you see them as a long-term employee? If not, I don't even know if I would waste my time, because hiring is hiring. So at the end of the day, the energy that you are putting into putting someone on your team, make sure they're a good fit. Make sure that they fit your core values. Make sure that your job description is completely lined out. Make sure that your expectations for them are clearly written out or talked about as well. I wouldn't necessarily look at it like, oh, this person is free, so I'm going to treat them differently. Look at them like they could potentially be a long-term employee or a valued member of the team. So that might change your mindset on it a little bit. Make sure you're hiring the right person. Yeah, so that's what I would suggest. I hope that answers all y'all's questions. That was a really quick mentor session today, but I did only have a few questions. So if you guys have any questions or I can help you in any way, you can reach me in the group, and also I will be at the November event. So I hope to see you guys there, and I will see everybody's Flex Fridays tomorrow. Bye.